All right, I'm going to go ahead and get this started. There'll be other guests that will hopefully join us throughout, and I'll continue to admit them. So I may do some recap of things that we've talked about for guests that do pop in. But again, I just wanted to, I first want to welcome you tonight to this panel. We're excited to be able to do this. We're glad that you all decided to join us tonight. What I'd like to do just really quickly, I want to run through everyone that I have here for on the Niagara side for the panel. And then I will pass it on to them to each go deeper into their own sections of campus. So tonight you'll be hearing from Chris Sheffield, our Associate Vice President for Student Affairs and Institutional Effectiveness. You'll be hearing from our Director of Campus Safety, John Barker. You'll be hearing from Bill Newton, our Assistant Director of Campus Activities. Kerri Winston, our Associate Director of Residence Life. Ned Cvijetinovic, our Assistant Director of the Kiernan Recreation Center. A lot of exciting things happening over there. And then you'll be hearing from Dining Services today as well. Our Director of the Center of Conferences and Events, mjeswald, as well as Mueen Patankar, our General Manager for METS here on campus. And so with that, that is the panel that we have tonight. They'll each go deeper into their own section. Again, thanks for joining us. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Chris Sheffield.
Thanks, Ben. Good evening, everyone. It's good to talk with some folks again. I don't see too many faces on my screen right now, but we've certainly been missing you since our summer orientation program when we had a chance to get to know you and your students a little bit better. In student affairs, as you may know from our SUMO program, we really focus on the out-of-class student experience, and I'm joined by some of my colleagues in student affairs this evening who will speak to the ways that we do that. One of the things that I wanted to touch on, which I know has been on many people's minds in the recent weeks, have been our plans related to COVID. Certainly we're seeing the changing dynamic across the country and somewhat in New York State and in the region. And so I wanted to share with you a little bit about our preparations. We continue, as we have been all along, to monitor what's happening on campus and in our area, as well as working with our public health officials as we make decisions and update our COVID policies and procedures. And there really are two principles that continue to guide this work. The first, and very importantly, the health and safety of our campus, including our students, our faculty and staff, and administration, as well as our responsibility to the broader community. The second principle is that we want to have a traditional face-to-face, in-person experience where we can be together in classrooms, in the dining hall, at campus events, cheering at games together, really having a communal experience. And I have to tell you that for myself and many members of our campus, the feel of the SUMO program was exciting because that energy was back. And that's what we expect to have is for a very normal and traditional feeling campus experience. Your students may have told you about a survey that we administered recently to gauge vaccination status among our students. And we had about 40% of our students respond, which anybody who knows anything about stats is a great response rate. And what we heard from students is that nearly 90% of our students have either been vaccinated or plan to be vaccinated before the semester begins. And that number climbs over 90% when we look at our resident student population. So that's really good news. I can also share with you that at this point, we're not requiring masks indoors, social distancing, or capacity restrictions in spaces. And this again is based on what's happening on campus and in our county, but we'll obviously continue to follow the advice of public health officials on an ongoing basis. And certainly it's not our goal or hope to require things like masks indoors, but certainly we'll do as we have all along and take our decisions based on best practices in public health guidance. So it's been a challenge all along to predict exactly what's going to happen, but I can say that the last few months have felt very normal and traditional. And we hope that all the steps that we're each taking individually and as a collective campus community will allow us to have a very normal and traditional campus experience. So our teams are preparing to welcome you back for new student orientation on August 27th. Very excited for your arrival and look forward to a great start to the semester.
I almost pulled the rookie move on Zoom and started talking before I unmuted myself. So, Chris, thank you for that. I do want to just throw out there, in the meantime, as you're hearing from our panelists tonight, obviously this is a panel. We would love to field questions. So what I would ask, if you have any questions that are on your mind, go ahead and throw them in the chat box. I'll be keeping note here on questions and things like that and passing them along to our panelists towards the end. Again, you're going to hear from quite a few people, so maybe not quite yet throw them in there, maybe hold on to them, see if they do get answered throughout. But if you do have any on your mind, just go ahead and get those ready to throw in the chat box, and I'll do some reminders throughout. So next on the docket, I'm going to pass this on to John Barker, our Director of Campus Safety.
Thanks, Ben. Welcome, everyone. As you've heard from Chris, and I'm sure you'll hear from others, we're really looking forward to having the students back and seeing the campus come back to life again. It's been pretty quiet around here, especially for the campus safety department that's been here. A little bit about campus safety. Our office is located in the little gray house across from the Dwyer Arena. We're a 24-hour-a-day operation. We have officers on patrol 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as well as we have a 24-hour dispatch. I always encourage people to get our telephone number for our office and put it in their cell phone numbers, and the students put it in their cell phone numbers. So if they need anything, just call that number and we'll be able to help you out. We are the only 24-hour-a-day access to the campus. So if you need something after hours, you can always work through us to get the information that you need. Our phone number is 716-286-8111. The one thing that I really enjoy about working at Niagara, it comes from the community itself. We have a great community of students and employees here. And what that does for me and for my department is it allows us to be very service and helping oriented. We don't have to be the law enforcement and law and order type of a department. So we truly are here to serve the needs of the students. So if anyone needs anything or has a question, please feel free to call us. I always, when I talk to parents and families, I always say, the security systems that you've come to expect on any university campus are here at NU. Whether it's card access system, closed circuit TVs, a very, very good fire alarm system, mass notification speakers inside buildings and outside buildings, mass text notifications, mass email notifications, a very robust emergency response and capabilities program on campus. In addition to being the campus safety director, I serve as the university's emergency coordinator. And as you can imagine, we've been pretty busy keeping up with health department guidelines. And we work very close with them as we're working our way through the pandemic. Probably the one thing I want to say ahead of most anything else, if you're bringing a car to campus in the fall semester, I encourage you to avoid the lines when you move in at our office and go ahead online and register your car. You can do that simply by going to your MyNU account and in the search, put in campus safety, and then you will see a link to parking right there, and you will be able to register your car. So when you come to campus, it will be as simple as just stopping and getting the permit and affixing it to your car. The last thing I'd like to say is that as a member of the crisis response team on campus, we have a variety of people, and I know Kerri is going to talk about 24-hour on-call responsibility for emergencies when we get to residence life, but we have a variety of campus managers who are on call to assist with whatever anyone might need at campus. So we welcome you back to welcome you to campus this fall, and I will enjoy seeing you and look forward to later this month when you all come and move in. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Great tip, registering your car online. Avoid the lines, definitely a great tip there. Again, I just want to do a quick reminder. If, we just had a couple of guests that joined us in between our panelists there. We've gone through a couple of our panelists, but we're just kind of rolling through right now through the rest of our panel. Each person is introducing their area, what they have, and any updates they might have. And then just know, for anyone that did join us, if you have questions, go ahead and prep those into the chat box. If they don't get answered throughout the panel, we'll have a time at the end where we'll take a look at those and come back around. Notice we've got one in there already, which our next panelist might actually be able to speak to. If not, we'll definitely come back around to it, Joyce. So great question. But at this time, I am going to go ahead and hand it off to Bill Newton, our Assistant Director of Campus Activities.
Thanks, Ben. Good evening, everybody. Congratulations, first of all, of course, to your students, but tonight's about you guys, our parents, or what we affectionately call our purple parents. So feel free to start calling yourself that in passing, or when you're talking with your friends about, hey, I'm a purple parent starting in fall of 21. What I tell students, I'll tell you guys too, is that you can never have enough NU swag. So make sure you're telling your students to take advantage of that, and certainly stop at the Perch in the Gallagher Center when you come onto campus next and see what they have in there. It's a great place. But yes, I'm the Assistant Director of Campus Activities, and a little bit about our office. Certainly we're down in the lower level of Gallagher. We have a nice office down there, and a little bit of what we do. Mainly we oversee all of the student clubs and organizations, the summer and fall orientation programs. As Chris mentioned, we're just coming off of a really exciting and engaging sumo program. I hope if you were able to attend that you walked home with a good packet of information and just a great feeling of feeling good about sending your son or daughter to Niagara. And then with the clubs, certainly our campus programming board, I'll touch a little bit on that, along with our student government, other opportunities to promote spirit on campus. So while you're our purple parents, we certainly want our students to go to Purple Eagles games. Certainly that's one way to show your spirit, but that's not the only way. We encourage just wearing Niagara gear, joining clubs and organizations, really finding your students' way to get connected to campus. Of course, we want them to get a great education in the classroom, engage with faculty, do some research, get great internships. That's going to happen. But we want them to also have a true experience. And that's the best part of the Niagara experience, or the education in my mind, is joining those clubs and organizations, attending events, getting those experiences that their friends, probably at other institutions, might not be getting. So they're really take advantage. I would encourage them to take advantage of those opportunities. Let's see. So as a student, they will get a free ticket to any Purple Eagle home game. So whether that's basketball, hockey, soccer, volleyball, our club sports have students that attend. So take advantage. I always tell students to stay tuned to their NU emails. So if they haven't experienced or gotten used to their NU email account yet, please encourage them to do that, because that's like the main way that us, as well as their faculty, will communicate with them. Our campus programming board. So our campus programming board is a student organization that any student can join, but the activities and events are open to all students. So for example, we do a late night Niagara program every single Friday night during the academic year. So those are going to range from open skate nights over at our Dwyer Arena to programs in our Kiernan Center, maybe with like some inflatables or just game nights. We've done like late night moonlight dodgeball, things like that. Comedians, hypnotists, just something to do on a Friday night, usually at 9 o'clock. And you can mark it that every Friday there's going to be something going on. In addition to that, we'll do bus trips, which is something that we weren't able to do last year, but in our full power way of going this year, we're definitely looking forward to having opportunities for our students to go to a Bills game, or go to a Whirlpool jet boat ride down in Lewiston, go sledding maybe at Colden Hill, things like that they'll do at a very much reduced cost, for sure. A couple questions that I usually get have to do with how do students join clubs. We'll have club fairs we'll have a club fair during new student orientation, as well as within the first couple weeks of school. So take advantage of that. Students can walk around. It's not a commitment, but they can just sort of talk with current students that are in these clubs, and see if it can be a right fit for them. Maybe they'll write down their email or how to connect with them so they can join it, go to an interest meeting and find out more about it. John mentioned about cars. So we certainly have a lot of students that do have cars and a lot of students that don't have cars. Sometimes I get asked, my student's not gonna have a car. We live 2-3 hours away, what are they gonna do? So in addition to all these clubs and activities on campus, we will have a shuttle system off campus that will allow them to maybe once or twice a week if they want, get off campus. Of course, right by us are the outlet malls. We have a Walmart, we have a Target, the 21st century staples of life, right? Of course, Amazon is a couple clicks away, but be careful of that. But an opportunity to jump on the shuttle, get off campus a little bit, maybe with a friend, no cost for that whatsoever. And it runs like a bus schedule, so they come back and they can take advantage of that. And then yes, new student orientation is coming up in about 3 weeks or so. So I can tell you that it's August 27th to the 29th. And it's really a great program, engaging program, filled with info sessions, kind of like summer orientation was, but then also filled with a lot of social opportunities and opportunities for your students to get to know others and take part in some great NU traditions that we're excited to have back. One of them is we take all of our new students, we make a big frame in the O'Shea quad, and we do a big N and a big U. We take a big picture, and then of course we'll post it to all of our social media platforms. And if you zoom in good enough, hopefully you can find your son or daughter in that photo. They're all wearing the same purple shirt, so it really stands out. It's really great. We do a walk to Whirlpool, which is walking down to Whirlpool State Park, and along the way there are offices that have welcome stations that are giving out information and really just or fun things, and really just welcoming them to campus, which is fun. And then we do a big barbecue down at the state park. So that schedule will be coming out next week. It'll go online. I'll drop the website in the chat box. It's not there now, but it will be, but at least you'll know where to find it. In addition, your student will get an email, probably from me next week, to their NU email address. So again, another reason to start checking that email if they're not already. But it's gonna be a great weekend of programming, and we're really looking forward to it.
Thanks, Bill. Everyone, as Bill mentioned, obviously getting your sons and daughters to get used to checking their Niagara email is huge. A lot of important communications going there. So if they haven't gotten in that habit yet, they definitely should kind of get into that habit of just checking that often. Bill, while I have you really quickly, just quick question. Crystal asked, are there any charges for those trips that you were talking about?
Sure. So yes, there usually is a charge for our bus trips. All of our on-campus events are completely free. But just to give you an example of our Bills game trip, if any of you have been to a Bills game, you can easily drop a couple $100s on your ticket or transportation there. What we do is we charge $40, and that includes your ticket to the game, as well as the bus ride there and back, and a tailgate party. So you're really getting a great best bang for your buck. And all of our other trips are usually at the most half the regular cost of what they normally are. So another reason to have your students take advantage of those.
Awesome, thanks for that. My 5-year-old son came home the other day and told me that he is a Josh Allen fan. His mother is from New England and is a Patriots fan. So it's an interesting dynamic going on in my house right now. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass this on to our next panelist, Kerri Winston, our Associate Director of Residence Life.
Hello, everyone. And once again, like everyone already has said, echoing again, I'm so glad to see faces and start this year off full power, fall power, right? So a quick overview of the Residence Life. We are located in O'Shea on the first floor. We kind of echoing what John mentioned, we are also somewhat similar to the 24-hour on-call as campus safety. There's CAs on call 24/7, then the upper level are a resident director on call above them, and then there's administrators on call above those. So there's someone for your student at all hours of the day. Our office is open Monday through Fridays, 9 to 5. And after 5, we have after-hour services. We have our community advisors there's a community advisor, 1 or 2 community advisors on every floor. or in every area. So when I say every area, there's a couple of students who are in the varsity houses. We have 3 CAs in those houses to kind of support that community. And there's like our staff is very robust. There's a lot of us that we are managing, and we are here to support every student. We are a huge student-centered office, like the entire campus is. So we really focus on making sure our residential education for our students is top notch. One big question that I'm pretty sure is going to be asked is about move-in information, right? So move-in is August 27th. All logistical details will be sent out to you, to your homes, within the next week or 2. And that details will include time to move in, where you should park. There will be labels for your student to use for every item that they have when they come in for move-in. And we do recommend that you label all of your items, because we have a lot of help during that move-in, because there's so many students moving in at one time. Various sports groups, various clubs and organizations are taking the time to really help our incoming freshmen really move in and get the help they need, because it's going to be hot and it's going to be busy. So we're going to get as much help as we can. With that being said, another thing that comes up often is the difference between O'Shea and Seton. We get that a lot. And the biggest difference between those 2 towers is O'Shea has the nest and Seton has triples. Other than that, those buildings are almost identical. And I personally love Seton, but I've been overseeing Seton for 3 years, so I'm a little biased. But O'Shea and Seton are, like I said, almost identical. So one thing that our office offers, we do programming on the floor monthly and sometimes weekly. Our CAs are required to do programming throughout the entire building on every floor. So if you have a student that lives on Seton, the 5th floor, then there's a program there monthly on the 5th floor, plus in the building of Seton every month as well. We offer a lot of different opportunities in our office. We have work studies in our office if you need a work study opportunity. We work very closely with various offices on campus, especially campus safety, because we really want to make sure that the wellness and health is very okay with our students. Sorry, I got distracted with the chats. Well, that's a good question. I would say about 4 or 5 in each room, if I off the top of my head, but I can definitely double check that when I get off mute. Sorry, I know he's gonna do that, Ben, and I just got distracted. But if you guys have any questions regarding the housing pieces or your roommates, I know it's another big question. Go into your email that your Niagara should be checking very, very frequently, because most of your communications are going to there. And if you have any questions about changing roommates or changing room, just email residentslife@Niagara and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Yeah, we're so excited to have you guys back on campus. I'm super thrilled. It's been very lonely sometimes when it's not full. So we're excited to have everyone back on campus. And I'm done.
Terry, thanks for that. We got another question that just popped in. Are we allowed to bring dorm risers, or are they provided? I'll let Kerri swing that one really quickly.
Yes, so our beds all, oh, sorry, am I echoing?
No, okay.
Sorry, so our beds auto rise themselves, so you don't have to bring any bed risers. So you can move your beds, they automatically rise for you. It's a little bit of work, but we can figure it out for you when you get here.
Awesome, awesome. Any other questions? I know we did have some other people come in. Just so you know, if you have questions, go ahead, throw them in the chat box. We'll try to answer some there in the chat. And then we will also have time at the end that I'll come back around to any unanswered questions and we'll answer them there as well. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna move on to our next panelist, Ned Cvijetinovic, our Assistant Director of the Kiernan Center.
Hello, everyone. So the Kiernan Recreation Center is going to be the building on campus this year that looks like we're closed because we're undergoing construction and renovation, but I promise you we will be open. So inside the Kiernan Recreation Center, we do have 4 basketball courts, a swimming pool, and a fitness center. Our fitness center this year will house our weight room and cardio equipment. So what we also house is all of our club sports and also intramural sports. So your club sports, we do have 17 on campus. We do have men's and women's sports, and then we also do have some co-ed teams. And our intramural sports, that's if you're looking for something a little less competitive, maybe you just have a game once or twice a week. Those are our intramural sports. That's competition between just the student body. our club sports, you're practicing a couple times a week, and then you're traveling, you're playing other universities' club sport teams. So the Kiernan Recreation Center, we also do have work study students that work for us. This year we do have about 30. But if you have a student that has federal work study and they're into fitness or they're into sports, they're a sport management major maybe, we are able to place them into our building. So that's something that they can request in the beginning when they first get to campus and they meet with their work study advisors. So in the meantime, if you do have any questions about our building, I can be reached at nedc@niagara.edu. And then Derek Puff, who is our director, he can be reached at dpuff@niagara.edu. Like I said, this year, we're going to be undergoing some construction. So it's not going to be a traditional year. And a lot of what we're doing may change from week to week. So we are just being as flexible as we can. And the good thing about that is we had a lot of practice with that last year. So this year, we're still going to be able to be open and offer a lot of things that we're very excited about. And we're looking forward to having students back on campus and involved.
Ned, I appreciate all that info. Thank you very much. Again, keep throwing those questions in there. I've got some of them written down. I know Kerri's firing away on some of them. We'll come back around just to answer those out loud so everybody can hear the answers and talk about it a little bit. I do want to just kind of brought me back really quickly. I just want to remind everyone, I know that when you were going through this process, you may not have been able to see a full campus tour or anything like that. So if you didn't, when you came, there was a time where we weren't able to get into dorms. But right now, I mean, we are able to do that. So if you weren't able to get into a dorm, we'd love to have you come back to campus for another visit. We can take you around campus to any spaces that you do want to see. You know, we've got some things going on. As Ned mentioned, some construction going on, some updates happening. So there's some places right now, but for the most part, we could probably get you into most places if you weren't able to see it during the college search process in general. So with that, I'm going to go ahead pass this along. We've got two panelists left before we get into any of these remaining questions that are out there. So I'm going to start off with Mike Mjeswald, our director of the Center for Conferences and Events.
Thanks, Ben. I appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. Like everybody else said, we are just so excited to have a lively campus back again in the fall. I wear many hats on campus, but one of my main responsibilities is the university liaison with our food service provider, Metz Culinary. Metz has been with us for about 6 years now, and I have to say that they are a tremendous partner with us. They understand the importance, our goals of the university, our mission of the university, and they work very closely with us to make sure that the students are getting a lot of food options, healthy options, hopefully keeping the freshman 15 off. But they really work hard to make sure that the students are happy. I'd like to introduce Mueen Patankar, who is our general manager. He's going to be able to give you a little more insight as to what Metz can offer. But the big thing I want to emphasize is that communication is critical, that the only way we can improve our food service is by getting the feedback from the students. We offer a variety of ways to communicate to us, but some of the things that I'm implementing this year is having regular student forums where students will be able to come to us and talk to us about their concerns or questions just about who to talk to. But it's really important that we keep that communication open all the time. The other thing I did want to mention, we've been talking about NSO. Food service is going to be open on the day that your students move in. So your students will be able to use the dining hall with their swipe card for their first day of arrival. And we're also offering discounted rates for parents. If you're going to be on campus for the day, that you'll be able to come into the dining hall to join your students for breakfast or lunch. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Mueen, my partner with Metz, and he'll be able to share a little more information to you. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us, and I hope we provide all the information. As you know, that food is the biggest aspect of the college, you know, and I'm a great part of being I'm great honor of being a part of it. Just want to explain to you in details. Our offices are located in Russell Dining Hall, at Clay Dining Hall. Our chefs are always over here on site. So we have a dietitian who could answer all your questions. We have an executive chef, a sous chef. We have a catering manager, a retail manager, and a marketing manager. As students come on campus or actually in the dining hall, we appreciate all the feedback that they give us. Last semester, we had made some big changes based upon student feedback, accommodating them with different menus and mostly with different options. A couple of changes we have made is providing vegan and vegetarian options at their retail locations. As most of the students want to have some change in the dining options, basically like Mike said, having a committee and talking more about student options and providing more feedback. Something different we have done this semester is that we've actually have an executive chef just come out there at a certain time after every 7 days or 15 days, and students get a chance to talk to him mostly about the feedback, about the dining hall, about the food, changes that we could make. Most importantly, as students walk in here, the biggest question they ask us is about the menu. We do have a website where students can see exactly what's provided for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and that's based upon a 4-week cycle. Again, the menus change depending upon the feedback that we receive from students, and also the feedback that our chefs give us. Managers are always on site, so feel free to ask questions to the managers. We also have supervisors who are on site, and all the supervisors and managers are Serve Safe certified. And again, we also have a website on Niagara University, a dining website, and absolutely, we can also answer all the questions on the website too. It is confidential, so there are no names mentioned in the questions that we ask or you guys ask. And I would hope that everyone takes advantage of the system that we have provided.
Hey, Ben, I'd like to add one more thing if I could. Last year, the university renovated this room over at Dwyer Arena, the hockey arena where the D1 hockey team plays. There's a new restaurant or bar restaurant type atmosphere called Talons. And it's definitely something that we want the students to be able to take advantage of. There's going to be regular evening hours. It is obviously serving alcohol, but we are encouraging students just to go in there to order a pizza and wings and just relax and watch some TV if they so choose. So we're really excited about that. And I would just make sure that the students are aware that this is definitely available to them rather than going off campus. It's something that they can just walk to and have an enjoyable time.
Mike and Mueen, thank you for all that information. We appreciate that. I did want to, there was a question that relates to you guys that hopefully you might be able to answer. Somebody did ask about takeout containers, whether or not students would need to purchase a takeout container in order to take food back to their dorms.
Well, currently we don't have a takeout container to purchase, but we do provide takeout containers. So if students want to take out food, we have a foam container that they could take to their dorms.
Perfect. Awesome. I do want to take a quick second for anyone that did join late, or if you at this point you haven't had you got a question and it maybe wasn't answered quite yet. Again, go ahead and fill those in the chat box. We'll try to address them all as we have a few minutes here for just a simple question and answer section. But I do want to offer just some help on things as well. If any of you have questions or anything at all, and you're not exactly sure where to go, I know you've gotten a lot of information tonight, probably a lot of phone numbers and email addresses as well. But if you do find yourself lost at any time, please revert back to us in the admissions office. Myself, my team, we are more than happy. We don't necessarily know all the answers, but we do know how to get in contact with everybody on this panel in order to get those answers to any questions that are lingering after today or anything that pops up between now and then. So with that, I'm just going to swing it back. Kerri, I'm going to start with you. There was a lot of questions that as soon as you were going, so I'm going to swing a couple your way just to see if you can maybe throw some answers out loud so everybody can hear. So a couple ones that I saw were mattress sizes and then wall decor. What's allowed, what's not. So if you could share just some information on that, that'd be great.
Yeah, so our mattresses, sorry. So our mattresses are standard. Am I echoing? I'm sorry, am I echoing? It's my background.
On my end, you sound great, so.
I hear myself, which is freaking me out, but we're here. So yeah, mattresses are standard. Standard twin size sheets will work on the mattresses. As far as the wall, so we do got to follow New York State Fire Code. So that means we cannot put up tapestries or curtains, but you can do like posters, any cute pictures that you have. We can do LED lights, not Christmas lights. And I put the link into the chat for all the things you can bring and not to bring. That's on our website. That kind of gives you a better grasp of what you should and should not bring. I know John put in there about the power cords, power surge protectors. So if you want to bring in additional surge protectors, make sure they have the on and off switch. We do not allow extension cords.
Thank you for that. In the same breath, I'm going to open this up. This might be a question for even Chris, Bill, or anyone on campus. Somebody did ask for any students that were bringing any items that were maybe seasonal, like a bike or anything like that. If there was any place for them to store items like that. So anyone that might be able to speak to that, we'd love to hear that.
That's me again, I believe. So we have multiple bike racks around campus. So there's a safe place to put your bike. As far as big storages, we do have storage options on campus. They're very limited. You can just put a request in through the Office of Residence Life. And there is an option off campus. I believe it's U-Haul that has storage units that's right by Walmart. So it's fairly inexpensive. That's also an option too.
Awesome. Thank you for that. There was a question that was asked, and I know, John, I know you did a good job at answering it, but I think it's an important question that I'd love for everybody to hear. And it was, somebody had mentioned that their daughter had an evening class that ran into the evening, and she wanted to know if her daughter would be safe on campus at that time. And I know you had a great answer. I know the answer as well, but I'd love for the families that are here to hear your answer too.
The question is, how safe is the campus in the evening hours? We enjoy a very safe campus here at Niagara. There's really not, there's enough people walking around in the evening hours so that there is safety in numbers, and people tend to walk in groups and things like that. But if anybody ever needs something, and they don't feel comfortable about something, they can call our office and we can give them some help. Whether we give them an escort, from time to time, somebody will be in the parking lot and find themselves with a dead cell phone, and they don't feel comfortable walking to their residence hall late at night, maybe the library late at night. We have blue light phones around the campus. You can just pull up next to a blue light phone, hit the button and talk to the dispatcher through that and ask for whatever services you may need from us. So we're there, and we make sure that we have enough staff on campus to be able to provide those types of services for anyone who calls and asks.
Thank you for that, John. I love when that question is asked, because I know exactly how you guys take care of students on our campus, and I think it's important for families to hear as well.
And I want to throw one little quick thing in here too. When we talk about moving in and storage and stuff to the residence halls, I'm going to give my observation as a parent of somebody who moved in one time. Let's make sure that your students are communicating with their roommates about what to bring, so we don't bring a lot of duplicate stuff. It breaks my heart on move-in day when a father comes in with a TV or a refrigerator or other big item, and they carry it up to the room. In 20 minutes, they're carrying it back down because the roommate had one also. So let's make sure that we're bringing the things that you need. And keep in mind, if you're close enough where you might be going home on the October break or the Thanksgiving break, there's seasonal changes that'll occur. So you don't necessarily have to bring all of your winter stuff here in September. At Thanksgiving or the next semester is a great opportunity to bring in your hardcore winter wear.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that as well. I don't want to steal the question. I'm going to swing this one back to Kerri again, though, regarding laundry facilities and Seton Hall. But I do want to just throw out something really cool that definitely didn't exist in when I went to school. Is I do know that our laundry facilities have a texting service, which I remember the days where people would take my laundry out for me and very conveniently place it on top of the dryer. That was always fun to have somebody else touching my laundry. So, but now I do know that, you know, the facilities on our campus, they can text you, so you'll know when your laundry's done and you can run down and take care of it. But Kerri, I do want to swing it to you just to kind of answer more about laundry facilities on campus.
All right, so good thing, laundry is free. When I was in undergrad, it was not free for me. It was $125 to wash and $150 to dry. I'll never forget. But now at Niagara University, it is free. So the laundry room in Seton is in the basement. There's about 10 to 15 washers and about 10 dryers. Like Ben said, there is a text service. However, I strongly, with every being in me, recommend you set an alarm that's like 5 minutes before your laundry goes off, so you are down in there quicker than you need to be. And just wait around a little bit for your clothes to finish washing and drying. Can I also answer the question about the justice houses while I'm talking? Is that okay? Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, go for it.
So, justice houses, the rooms are very similar to what they look like in Seton. You get the same standard bed, standard desk, chair, dresser, small nightstand, all the same standard items. You will be getting your room assignments by Tuesday. Tuesday at the latest, they will be getting their room assignments. Also, our office, we supply kitchen supplies. We give you one huge box of pots, pans, cups, spoons, silverware, all that stuff. However, I strongly recommend if you have a specialty bowl or whatever you think that you like to eat in, bring what you want. It's your area, it's your house. You can kind of bring what kind of tools you need. The break info is on our website. Oh, that was a direct, sorry. Bye, I'm done.
Awesome. Thank you, Kerri. A lot of questions swinging your way. I'm sure you might be able to answer the next one too. But I'm gonna swing it to Chris Sheffield here. It was regarding how many people can come for move-in, and I know that you know, that might still be something that we're working out. But I wanted to give Kerri a break, and maybe Chris can answer that.
Sure thing, Ben. And the question was, you know, is there any limit to the number of people who can help out the students during check-in? So, you know, last year we did have restrictions, very tight restrictions on the number of people, and that was really related to COVID and some of the precautions we were taking around that. We don't anticipate at this point that those same restrictions will be in place. That said, you know, John and others have mentioned what move-in day is like, and it is busy. And as you can imagine, with a lot of people moving through the halls and stairwells and elevators in our residence halls, it can get kind of congested. So while there may not be limits, I would recommend some reasonableness in the number of people you have with you helping your students move in on move-in day. It is an exciting time on campus, a lot of activity, a lot of things going on. So certainly bring the family. If they can have a picnic outside while a couple people are helping the students move in, that would be ideal. But we do want to try to keep density down just for you know, flow and movement of people on move-in day. Hope that's helpful.
Great information, Chris. Thank you for that. I haven't seen any new questions come in quite yet. If there are still some lingering questions out there, go ahead, throw them in that chat. We want to come back to them. We're trying to get any questions that you have tonight answered. But just know that, this is not a one and done. We are looking to maybe have some more information sessions coming up. So be on the lookout for those. We always want to answer any questions that you might have. I'm going to invite everyone from our panel to just, if you could, in the chat for everyone to have. I know you threw out some information, some emails and stuff like that. But if you have any important information from your offices, either contact information or good emails for people to get a hold of, you can throw that in the chat for the families to see and to write down. That would be great. Looks like somebody did ask move-in time on the 27th. I know Kerri did answer all move-in information, times, locations, labels, everything like that will be coming out within the next week or two. So, and that's going to be going, I believe, Kerri, you said to their house, correct?
Yep, they should get a mail-in packet to their homes and an email. The Niagara student email.
Again, just another plug. Make sure your sons, daughters are checking that Niagara email. That is where the majority of communications have begun to flow for all of the students now that they are official Purple Eagles on our campus. And so, again, we got all of our panelists putting in some important information into the chat there. There we go. There's another one. LED lights, are they battery only?
Yes, they are only battery operated lights.
Kerri got a lot of questions tonight. I don't know what we would have done without you, Kerri. We would have just made up a lot of information. I'm just kidding. We would not have done that. Well, again, everyone, I do want to thank you for joining us tonight, for asking questions, for being involved in this panel. Again, we look to do this more often. We look to have more. Again, huge shout out to Tacos. Everybody has a great name on here, but that is the name of the night for the Zoom. So with that, I do want to close this out. Thank you to everyone for joining. Thank you to our panelists for hopping on. And again, if you have any questions between now and move-in day, reach out to anybody from the panel or reach out to us in the admissions office, and we will go from there. Will there be another forum for financial questions? That is a great question, Christina. I don't know that we have one on the docket, but I can tell you our financial aid office, they are accepting individual appointments. So if you do have specific questions, you can always get with them. But that is a great question that I'm going to take that down and see if that isn't something that we can put on the docket in the coming weeks, just to have something. So if there are questions, we could do something very similar to financial aid. So great question, even better suggestion. And with that, I'm going to close out tonight's event. Thank you again.